Hi there, good morning and nice to meet you my dear students, and welcome back to my another online presentation. I am Mohammad Mamunur Rahman, assistant teacher in English, Madhupur Shoishriti Higher Secondary School. And in this class, you will definitely enjoy a very interesting story from your English first paper book. So, my dear students, I think you are ready, so let's get the ball rolling. My dear students, our today's topic, and I am going to take a class especially for the students of class 6, lesson 35 and page number 107. Yes, you can see on the display, I think, the title of today's topic is The Garden, written by Arnold Lobel. You know, Arnold Lobel or Arnold Stark Lobel is an American writer and who is considered as one of the greatest writer of children's in the history of English literary horizon. And again, he wrote a lot of comic items or fables or students or children's stories. His famous creations are the Frog and Toad series and Mouse Soap. And again, he was born in California in the United States of America in 1933 and was died 4th December 1987. Well, he not only wrote but also illustrated the picture of the books, and for this reason he has won a lot of prizes. Well, my dear students, we are going to enjoy a special class here in this class, and the class is about The Garden, written by Arnold Lobel, and you can find this class in your English first paper textbook at page number 101. So, my dear students, in this lesson or the story's main character are Toad and Frog. Toad and Frog are two friends. Here I am going to show you some pictures of Toad. So I think you can see here 3 pictures of Toad, and now it's time to show the picture of Frog. Well, here we can also see 3 pictures of Frog. So what are the differences between these 2 pictures or between Frog and Toad? Frog, the skin of Frog is very much smooth. On the other hand, the skin of Toad is dry and leathery skin. And again, Frog has larger legs than Toad. And Frog usually likes to live in water or near water. But on the other hand, Toad usually lives in the bush, jungle, and even in our houses. Well, before starting our main topic, it is very much important for you to have some important words so that you can be fit for the lesson. Well, here the first word is seed. A seed is a small object. A seed is a small object produced by a plant, and a new plant can grow. Yes, you know, a seed is a very small object, and you can find it or you can take it from any plant, any flowers, or even in any vegetables. And to produce a tree or produce a plant, you have to plant these seeds to grow another plant. Well, ground means soil, the surface of the earth. And soon, the third one is quickly. Soon means quickly, in or within short time. Shouting means screaming or talking or crying or telling something loudly. Afraid means fear, feeling fear or worry, feeling fear or worry. Candles, an object which produces light as it slowly burns. And I think you normally or you are habituated to use candles in your birthday party before cutting cakes. Well, tired. Tired means in need of rest or sleep. After working hard or to do something, we may feel tired, and at that time we need rest or we need to sleep to refresh ourselves. And hard work, result of best or hard effort. To be success in life, you must work hard. To do anything, you have to work hard. Well, here in this slide, we can see our main lesson. I am going to read this lesson. My dear students, be careful and attentive so that you can understand the lesson clearly. In the first sentence, frog was in his garden. And in this sentence, we can see that, or we can understand that frog has a garden. Frog has a garden, and he was staying at his garden. And his best friend Toad came walking by. Toad came walking by to see his friends. After reaching there, we can see here, he said, that means Toad said, "What a fine garden you have. What a fine garden you have, frog," he said. Here he means Toad. And you can see here inverted comma. You can see here inverted comma. And whenever we see an adjunct word of a speaker, we may put or we may enclose these words in a inverted comma. Well, what a fine garden you have, frog, he said. Toad said that by seeing his garden, Toad was so much astonished or so much enjoyed to see his garden that he said, "What is?" That means a frog has a very nice garden, very fine garden. "Yes," said frog, "it is very nice, but it was hard work." In reply to Toad's words, frog said that, "Yes, it is a very nice garden. The garden is very nice, but this garden is the result of hard work." For this, from this line, we can understand that if you want or if you have a very nice garden, you have to work hard. And after working hard, you can get a nice garden like this. "I wish I had a garden," said Toad. Toad here wished that if he had a garden like frog. "Here are some flower seeds, plant them in the ground," said frogs. Here are some flower seeds. Here, flower seeds, and plant them in the ground. As frog is Toad's best friend, and as the Toad is wishing to have a nice garden like frogs, and for this reason, frog give him some flower seeds, and advised him to plant these seeds in the ground. Ground means soil, and soon you will have a garden. You will have a garden. If you and said to him and or told that if he plant these seeds in the soil, and soon or quickly he will get a nice garden like his. But here in this sentence, we can see that Toad asked, "How soon?" Yes, this is an interrogative sentence. That's why we use a note of interrogation mark here. And Toad was so restless that, so excited to have a garden that he asked his best friend Frog, "How soon?" That means how much it will take, how much time it will take to have a nice garden. And in reply, Frog said, "Very soon." That means you will get this garden very soon. Well, next slide tells that Toad ran home. After getting some seeds from his best friend, Toad returned home and he planted the flower seeds. New seeds, said Toad, start growing. As soon as he planted the seeds, he asked or he requested his seeds to start growing now. Toad walked up and down a few times. That means he moved here and there or ups and downs for a few times. The seeds did not start to grow. Well, the next line tells us the idea about Toad put his head close to the ground and cried. Now seeds start growing. That means Toad put his head very near to the soil and shouted, now seeds start growing. The seeds did not start to grow again. Toad put his head here very close or very near to the ground and shouted, now seeds start growing. In this sentence, we can see that Toad is very much excited, very much restless to have a nice garden. That's why he is arguing the seeds to grow at once, to grow. But the seeds doesn't start to grow. Well, Frog ran up the path. At that time, Frog was going to the path. What is going on? He asked. So Frog asked his friend, what is going on here? My seeds will not grow, said Toad. Toad said, Toad is very much feel in confusion that if his seeds may not grow. So what he can do now? You are shouting too much. You are shouting too much, said Frog. Frog said that Toad was shouting too much. These poor seeds are afraid to grow, Here, in this sentence, we can see that the word poor. Here, poor means very small. Poor means very small. Here, the poor seeds are afraid to. Afraid to means feeling fear to grow. My seeds are afraid to grow, asked Toad. And Toad asked that my seeds are afraid to grow. He can't believe it. Yes, said Frog. Frog said that, yes, leave them alone for a few days. Leave them alone for a few days, and advised him to leave them alone for a few days. Let the sun shine on them. Sunshine means the light or the heat of the sun. The light or heat of the sun. Sunshine. Here, sunshine means the light or heat of the sun. Let the rain fall on them. Soon your seeds will start to grow. Frog gives his best friend a lot of advices so that he can have a nice garden quickly. In these sentences, we can learn that he advised his best friend to leave his seeds alone for a few days, 2, 5 or 3 days, and let the sun shine on them. Let the rain fall on them. Soon your seeds, and that's why, or at last, he may take a nice garden like Frog if he followed these instructions. That night, Toad looked out his window. That means Toad looked out through his window. Oh no, cried Toad. Toad said that, oh no. He was exclaimed with sorrow, in grief, that my seeds have not started to grow. His seeds have not started to grow yet. They must be afraid of the dark. As it is, or it was, night, and at the night we can't see anything clearly because of darkness. Here, the Toad realized that his seeds may be afraid of the dark. Here, afraid of, and in the first or in the previous slide, we can see afraid to. If you want afraid to do something, we can use afraid to do something. That means verb. Afraid of the dark, that is noun. Okay. Toad went out to his garden with some candles. he thinks that, or he thought that the seed may be afraid of the dark, and that's why to remove the darkness he came with some candles to lighting up the seeds. Toad went out to his garden. I will read the seeds a story. I will read the seeds a story, said Toad. Toad read a story to his seeds. All the next day, that means after that day, Toad sang songs to his seeds, and all the next day Toad read poems to his seeds, and all the next day Toad played music to his seeds. Toad is very much busy with his seeds. First, he want to tell a story, and then after the next day he sang some songs, and after that he read some poems, and after next day he played some music for his seeds, so that he never afraid anymore. Toad looked at the ground. The seeds still did not start to grow. What shall I do? He became hopeless or helpless here, cried Toad. He think these seeds are still afraid to grow. Then Toad became very tired because he worked all the night for few days and feel very tired. And if you feel very tired, you need to take rest. And for this reason, the Toad fell asleep. Toad, wake up, said Frog. At the time, his best friend Frog came and asked him to wake up, look at your garden, and suggested him to look at his garden. Toad looked at his garden and see little green plants are coming up out of the ground. At last, shouted Toad, my seeds are not afraid anymore. That means some small plants are coming out from the soil. And Toad was so much excited or so much happy to see these plants, and said that his seeds are not afraid anymore. That's why his seeds are started growing now. And now you will have a nice garden too, said Frog. And in reply, Frog said that, and quickly he will have a nice garden like Frog. Yes, said Toad. Toad said or replied in the affirmative, but you are right. And with dissatisfaction he said that he was right. It was a very hard work, and he is agreeing with him that to have a nice garden like Frog, you will have to do a lot of hard works. And from this lesson, we can learn that if you want to be succeed in life, or if you want to shine in life, you have to work hard. Otherwise, you can't reach the zenith of success. So, work hard and you will succeed in life. And that's all for today, my dear students. Assalamu alaikum.